Back to throw. Into double coverage, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Ryan Shazier. And he will take it across midfield and down to the 45.
And that's a great example of ball skills right there, partner. You and I do a lot of games, and I can't tell you how many guys look to run with the football before they've intercepted it. So that's a nice job of focusing on the task at hand and coming away with the interception.
Ready, set.
54, right there, right there.
Topper!
Set.
Get it.
They'll throw this out wide and complete it to Ridley. And he'll get it down here to the 43. Another timeout called by the Vikings now. And that's their second charge timeout here in this first quarter. They're down to 1 remaining.
57, Mike.
Alpha. 5.
Off play action. Herbert. Throw left side complete. That's Stevenson. That catch good for only a yard, and it'll be third down.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
Hey, Sam off. Hard. Hey, Steve 6. Shoot.
To throw on third down. Herbert. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. And that is the third sack this offensive line has allowed this first quarter.
Yeah, that puts him on pace. Let me do the rudimentary math here. To be sacked 12 times in a game. I know he's not going to go for that. I wonder if it's going to reshape what they decide to do on offense in terms of play calling.
Well, I can tell you what, when he popped up, shaking his head, frustrated right now behind center.
Let's go old school there. That's absolutely a great coffin corner punt. Someone's put some time in working on that, hasn't it?
Seems like every year these guys get better and better. It's amazing how they can command that football through the air.
Yeah, they used to actually practice with hula hoops where they place them and try and put them there. Now a lot of guys use barrels on the sidelines to try and put the football in one.
Greystone travel. Switch. Zoom, fellas, let's go. Mike's 50. Come on, baby. Let's see what you got. Hey,
They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. And I think the ball's out. And this one's going to go out of bounds, so no recovery. But on fourth down, a change of possession anyway.
I don't know about you, but I could hear and feel the sigh of relief all the way up here in our booth.
That was palpable. The sideline, the friend there.
No doubt about it. If ball goes over the sideline, able to retain possession, no turnover. I know his coaches are screaming, just hang on to the ball, man.
50's the Mike. You got to get the ball, D. Get the ball right. Protein spin. Check.
Now the first carry for Dalvin Cook. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair.
Yeah, and that was a safety that came through and made the play. But there's no doubt in my mind, he hits like a linebacker. And we see a lot of that in today's NFL, don't we?
And that time we do indeed. A big hit for a loss.
Let's go. 50. Hey, it's our time. Hey, Mike's 50. Go.
Perfect. Now.
50.
Don't let him breathe. Play that tight, D. Don't let him breathe, defense.
Ready.
Now back to throw. And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off around the 41. And a great return as they're finally able to take him down. First quarter, and now he already has 2 interceptions.
Yeah, he's got to guard against being tentative from this point forward, though. He's got to still make the right reads, make the proper throws. I've seen guys in this league throw 4 interceptions in a game and win. He's got to understand, put it behind you, keep pressing forward.
Suddenly it's first and goal after the interception. A quick change in the situation here. They'll run here with Henderson. And he's into the end zone. Touchdown, Steelers. Darrell Henderson taking it in. as his guys are able to strike first here in this opening quarter. Santos able to tack on the extra point, and it's now a 7-0 game. Now after the touchdown, here's Santos to kick this one away. And no return on this one as the fair catch is signaled for and taken.
The Vikings take over 1st and 10 at their own 25.
The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway. And it's been a miserable start for them offensively, obviously. 2 drives, 2 interceptions.
And this is where you have to know your quarterback and know how you actually have to reach him. Do you do it with a little bit of humor? Maybe you break the ice a little bit like, hey, didn't we practice in that color jersey all week, not the one that you're throwing it to? Or maybe you have to be stern with him. But whatever it's going to take to get the message, it has to be done. He's putting the game in jeopardy.
1st and 10 at the 47-yard line.
A big hitter to start the drive has him up near midfield here for 1st and 10.
Watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out. General, West, Haywood.
He'll look to throw. He's going to fire one deep, middle of the field. And that is incomplete. Showed off the arm strength there, but to no avail. 2nd down.
Well, it doesn't take any great analysis. No jokes, partner, okay? All right, on this one. But we just know that we're going to see this as the game moves forward. There's going to be 2 guys on him on just about every snap.
It's kind of a dare to throw his way, but they have to keep throwing his way.
The benefits could be great. You throw it to a great receiver, he could come down with it anyway.
Topper, Alpha.
Hey, 1 set. Check Mike 54. Mike 54.
Ready, go.
Back to throw now on 2nd and 10. And the ball is knocked out. And they're going to have themselves another 1st down as the tackle's made at the Steelers' 42. And the defense not able to get it. From a defensive perspective, what's that moment like when you realize the ball is loose?
It is a moment where all concentration goes right to the football. This is something you've talked about in all your preparation for the game. You probably talked about this training camp. Knock the ball free, take it away from the other team, and now you have that chance. There's a little bit of deflation when they end up recovering it.
They knocked it free, but couldn't take it away. They run, Cook. And he's going to get this down near the 30-yard line. After 7-0 on EA Sports. 2nd quarter now from Minnesota. It's the Vikings in possession of the football as they've got it with a 1st and 10. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10.
Hey, Mike 50. Mike 50. It's been a long day for you.
Mike 50.
Hey, tighten down.
Go. Hey, 50. Not here. Mike's 50.
Back to throw here. And Diggs has it. 12 yards there. 1st down, Vikings.
Partney sold the go route really well. Thought he was going deep and curled it back inside for a nice completion.
DBs love when they pump the brakes, don't they?
Yeah, that's really a whole lot of fun. It's almost like you said, listen, if you're going to sell the go, just go. And let's see who's faster.
On the carry, it's Cook. And good downhill running. He's got 6 yards down to the 13.
That's a strong pickup right there on 1st down. And as this drive goes on, we're seeing an offensive line and running game imposing its will.
At the 13-yard line.
The last run got 6. Now 2nd and 4.
Mike 50, Mike 50.
Stay with your man.
Slam, slam.
80 weapon. 80 weapon. Ready.
A toss to Cook. And he goes backwards here, losing yardage back to the 16. It's a loss of 4. Now 3rd down.
Perfectly designed blitz right there. They took that one from the grease board to the field because they were able to free up their linebacker to get into the backfield and spill the play.
Seventh play of the drive, forthcoming on 3rd and 8.
Watch the pass. Watch the pass. Here we go.
Delta. Let's go.
They'll drop the throw. That's to Cook out of the backfield. And they're going to mark him down short, maybe by about a yard, if that. 7 yards on the play, and that'll bring up 4th down.
So much about offense is what you call hidden yardage. You know, you throw the ball to someone, they catch it, and then they can make a big play. You know, they create a play, run after catch. They did a really nice job there of limiting that and keeping him from a 1st down.
Yeah, stopped him in his tracks. So they do get 3 points, but that's now 3 drives with only the 3 points, not a ratio that's going to win you many ball games.
Not at all, Brandon. And think about it this way. We all know payoff is the key, right? And wouldn't we love to have the concession on every T-shirt that's been printed in football that says finish on it? Because that's the mantra everywhere. Got to be able to finish drives, put points on the board.
The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. And they're hoping to redo their efforts in the last drive when they got into the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline. Because when you score a touchdown, you have to go over and look at the tablet and see what you did on the last drive. When you scored points, it's a whole lot better view than when you're trying to figure out how to fix things there.
Throwing to start the drive, but that one incomplete. And on this challenge, the refs have to take a peek and see whether or not the receiver was able to dot the I with both feet.
While making sure that he possesses the football all the way through the catch.
It's now 2nd and 10 at the 25-yard line.
An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25.
Leo.
2nd down, it's Henderson. And he's taken down, but able to slip across the 35. 12 yards there and a 1st down.
Tremendous blocking by the interior of the offensive line. They didn't just gash him there. They blasted a gaping hole for him to gallop through. I think if he comes back to the huddle, he better be giving them a whole lot of credit and thanking them for that much space to rumble.
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. They'll go back to Henderson on 1st down. And he gets this one to midfield before he's brought down. It's a Pittsburgh 1st down, a gain of 13. Consecutive plays now where that offensive line has really created a lot of space.
And we've seen the confidence rise, haven't we? It borders on arrogance now, and that's that good arrogance, believing you can run the football whenever you get good and ready.
Oh, able to avoid him. And he's got room. And he is brought down, but not before reaching the 30. Chewing up big yardage. Another nice gain there. This one goes for 20.
This is one of those plays that could go either way, but we've seen the influence of the college game now in the NFL, where we're seeing more and more of these plays run, and that one went for a big gain.
Ready. 60 or. Check 24. Rock it. Check. Deep grip.
And some room to work. And taking it to the 15-yard line before he's brought down. That one good for 14 yards and a Steeler 1st.
Well, that play looks familiar because we saw them working on it in practice this week. And for a lineman trying to block on this play, they love when they get the defense moving in one direction. And when they try and change directions, it's a lot easier to pick them up and ward them off.
The Steelers signal for the second of their timeouts.
Let's go.
So as they take it over, we step aside. A lot of attention paid this week in practice to red zone offense. The coach was optimistic about how it went. We'll see. Looking to throw. Herbert. Back of the end zone. Could he get his feet down? No, it's incomplete. Johnson the intended target, but it'll be second down.
Once you get into the red zone and the safeties have less ground to cover, you'd better be quick with your delivery. Not much space to get a ball in there.
Yeah, when that field shrinks with those safeties, it's almost like there's a couple extra defenders out there, right?
It certainly is. They end up taking up extra space just because there's not enough space for receivers to run through.
And he'll find Henderson there. It's complete. And able to get him down, but he does reach the 5. It's a first down on a gain of 10.
Here we go. 30 base.
You can't block me. Hey, watch it, watch it. Check 26, check 26.
Ready?
They'll try and run for it on first and goal. And they'll be driven back here, losing yardage to the 9. Yikes, a 4-yard loss really sets them back now for second down.
I know that speed is the hallmark of today's NFL game, but the key to good rushing defense is still having your linebackers set the edge.
Now from the 9, here's second and goal.
I'm coming after you. I'm coming after you.
49, check 49.
Now a fake on the give here as they try the run-pass option. And he's going to take it in for a Steeler touchdown. A 9-yard touchdown grab. And the Steelers, they broaden their lead. And on that one, able to catch it, also able to have the wherewithal to take it in for the score.
And how about the phases of a successful catch and a completion of a play? Look the ball in, secure the catch, and then, of course, the run after the catch that ends up in the end zone.
The Vikings take over first and 10 at their own 25-yard line.
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. It's been very much a slow start for them. 3 drives and just the 3 points, CD.
Yeah, if you're into the points per drive ratio, that answer is 1. And that's not going to get it done in a ball game. They've got to find a way to finish these drives in end zones, not having balls go through goalposts.
Call it a gain of 4 on first, and that'll make it second down.
They'd love to just strike back with a touchdown right here, and if it's a long play, so be it. But the main goal, get a couple of first downs, run some plays, run some clock, allow their defense to get a chance to catch their breath, settle down, and relax a little bit after they just gave up a score.
We've got a 14-3 ball game with 2 minutes left in the opening half. We remind you that coming up in 2 minutes, we'll again head down to visit with Jonathan Coachman in Orlando, back for another year. He'll have scores from around the NFL here on this opening weekend. On second down, Cook. And he's able to take this one up to the 35-yard line. 6 yards the pickup, and that's a first down.
Exactly what they needed right there, because they needed to use the ground game to take some pressure off, because the quarterback's been struggling a little bit.
Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on first and 10. First down, here's the run with Cook. And he went nowhere. Well, he went backwards, back to the 33. That sends him 2 yards in the wrong direction and leads to second down.
Second and 12 at the 33-yard line.
Let's go, let's go, let's go. 50, plant. Ready.
They'll look to throw here. It's complete to Diggs. And they've got it well across midfield down to the 40 before it's all said and done. 27 yards there, a first down. Back in the first quarter, you said it, they need to avoid the big play, but he just got a big one right there.
You can't relax. You know, we talked about in the first quarter, but as the game progresses, still opportunities, and he took advantage of one there.
Mike's 50, Mike's 50. Smoke. Here we go. Watch the pass. Watch the pass. Go.
Back to throw now on first down. Flushed out right. He's going to take off with it. And they went the wrong way there. Losing yardage back at the 43-yard line. The Vikings going to use their third and final timeout as it comes with 22 seconds to go here in half number one.
Set. 30 base. Let's go.
Second and 13. Left side caught by Diggs.
People worry about throwing the out route because often it can get jumped, and that can turn into either an incompletion or an interception. But not on that one. Everything came together, and he catches it and goes over the sideline.
So a challenge coming down from the booth, and that's where these challenges come from, of course, in the final 2 minutes of the half.
Yeah, now we're going to New York, right? That's command central for the officials. They'll talk, they'll take a look at it, communicate with the referee at the game site, and issue.
And for the third time here in this half, it's intercepted. Picked up by DeMonte Kazin. And his guys have got it back at the closing stages of the first half. The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. Time here for likely a couple plays if they want it, but with the field position what it is, maybe better suited to just sit on this one?
I'm with you totally. I would sit on it and get into the locker room and start over. But if they do decide to try and make a play, we know what the basics are. You run draw, you run screen. I would maybe run a little swing pass and try and get my lineman out in space and see if they can chop a hole into the secondary and see if he can run a little bit.
Took just one play to move all the way to the 44 as they try again on first down.
Tight dog. Hey, Echo.
From the gun, Herbert. And he's got his man, the tight end, McDonald. And out of bounds on the other side of midfield at the 45. The Steeler first down on the pickup of 11 yards.
And the Steelers first down.
Trying to get one more in here before the quarter breaks. A final shot before break. Herbert going deep to the end zone for Juju. And that'll wind up incomplete. Try to give his man room to run under it, but it's second down. So we've reached halftime here on opening weekend. As we'll head down to Orlando, that's where we find our man Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach. We'll see if week one fatigue becomes any kind of a factor as we are back underway in the second half. That'll be taken in the end zone. And in hindsight, probably should have stayed where he was as he'll only get back to the 16-yard line. The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway. They have the ball here for the inaugural drive of the second half. Pretty big deficit, though. We'll see what adjustments were made in that locker room.
And I never want to make something more important than it actually is, right? I don't want to create more hype than what is there. But this is I'm doing it, though. This is a really important drive. And we often talk about teams scripting plays to start a game. A lot of them script to start the second half, too. And they're scripting something that they expect to get them into the end zone and back into this game.
We'll see if that script is a good one for them. After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10.
Hey, watch the ball. Blue dot Quarkers. Blue dot Quarkers. Shoot. Wide. Get wide. Exit.
2nd and 10. And this time he's got the hook up. It's complete. And he'll be out of bounds near the 30. In fact, right on the 30. Give him 14 on that one and a first down. So 1st and 10 now from the 30.
64, weak. Tighten up, ready, go.
They run the counter with Cook. And he's going to lose yards. They take him down at the 26. It's a loss of 5 there, bringing up 2nd.
Well, if these guys are going to chop into that deficit, they're going to have to do a much better job in the run game. Caught behind the line of scrimmage, no yardage to be found.
Okay, break. right there. 54 Mike. Hey, watch the slant. No. Off. He's crashing. He's checking crash. H3, 218. Chopper. Ready.
A 10th carry in the game for Cook. And he's going to get about 7 yards on that one, up to around the 33.
On a 2nd and long, it's really nice to see an offense that has enough confidence to run the football in that situation. I think that goes back to their practice and game planning. They've seen things that they've seen on tape and in previous games that led them to believe that even in a long-distance situation, they can still run the football and gain enough yardage to put themselves in a good spot on 3rd down.
And he's able to find Diggs. And they just keep marching right along. 1st down on a pickup of 8 there.
Well, we always hear about the connections some quarterbacks have with certain receivers. I think this guy has a connection with just about everyone. Didn't mind throwing it in there against double coverage to him.
Shows some confidence, supreme confidence.
Big-time confidence that he would make the play for him, and he did.
They'll look to throw here on 1st down. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked off by Justin Lane. And he brings this one back. It's a pick-6 for a Steeler touchdown. This D wanting to put it away before we even get to the 4th quarter, widening that margin a bit further.
And while they won't just empty the bench just yet, if you're a backup, start loosening up. I think you'll get a chance to play before this one is over now with that type of a cushion.
Santos with the extra point, and the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. They're sort of seeing themselves spiral out of control. Let's see if they can get things back on track.
And this is where the coach is walking that line of being calm and really being firm with his team. I had one tell me once, when we were having a tough patch, this too shall pass, and finally we kept having a rough patch. He said, but you got to do something to make it pass, and that's what they have to do. They've got to get some control back, get themselves reasserted, and calm things down.
See if they can get calm and reassert themselves here. A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. Second and 11. It's Waring, the tight end, with it. So even with the pass interference, it's a completed pass. They'll go ahead and just take the play instead.
How about the effort? Making the catch despite the pass interference. Nothing else to be gained on the play. No need to take the penalty. The play stands.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Looking to throw. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. And he'll work it across midfield inside the 45. Give him 18 there and give the Vikings a 1st down.
And after that completion, you can understand why so many teams in the league are emphasizing speed on defense at every position. The tight ends have created so many tough matchups now. If you can't run with a tight end as a linebacker, this is going to be the result every time.
Right there, 54.
Now on 1st down, he'll drop to throw it. And this is Cook with a grab. And he'll maybe get back to the line of scrimmage, but no more than that. No gain, and it's 2nd down.
Well, that was a simple throw and catch, but even with that completion, 0 yards gained, so they're behind schedule on down and distance.
I think they were hoping to get it to him. He could make a man or two miss, but that window closed quickly.
Mike's 54. Mike's 54. Double dog. That's the way.
Now he'll look to throw here on 2nd and 10. And my goodness, another interception. Picked off by Quandre Diggs. And he's able to get it back here to the 43-yard line. The interception woes, they just continue to mount. He's thrown 5 picks. At this point, you got to be thinking, is it something between the ears?
I think a confidence hit does occur once you start getting those numbers up there a little bit. But as you and I both know, it's not always just one guy's fault. Maybe somebody ran the wrong pattern. Maybe some balls were tipped. It could be so many different things. Bottom line, though, it comes back to the guy throwing them.
Just a yard on the catch there. It'll be 2nd and 9.
When you see zone defense and you know you've got a drag route on as your primary call, you got to be really careful as a passer about how far you let your guy go because he might wander into some tough coverage.
They only got a yard out of that last completion, and that makes this 2nd and 9. Off the play fake. Herbert. That's taken in by Henderson. And they'll work this down to the 40-yard line. Tackled there. 16 yards, a first down.
We can talk all we want about football being a game of strength and brawn. It's also a game of mismatches, and they're trying to create one there. Getting it to their back out of the backfield to make a bigger play.
As we often say, get it to him in space, let him use his leg.
Yeah, if he can get a matchup against a linebacker or maybe a defensive end dropping out in a zone blitz, he's going to win that battle just about every time.
This quarterback now 13 out of 17 throwing the ball. He's got a first down. Back to throw. Herbert. Open man completes it to Smith-Schuster. And he'll be out of bounds about a half to a full yard shy of the 5. And a nice gain of 21 yards.
90, Wolf.
Blue Dan. Check.
25, check 20. Squeeze. Hit it.
They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And they'll be driven back here, losing yardage to the 10-yard line. It's a loss of 4 there, bringing up 2nd down.
I think there's one element that just keeps increasing on defense in the NFL, and that's speed. They want it at every position, and we just saw there some linebackers who can go sideline to sideline, run past that trash, go past people, and make tackles near the sidelines.
And not only near the sideline, but also in the backfield there for the loss.
They're not ready for this, man. They're not ready for this. They still playing soccer.
To throw on 2nd down. Herbert. Toward the end zone, but that's going to wind up incomplete.
I know you felt like saying touchdown there, didn't you, partner? That looked like a sure 6 points, but the contact jarred it free.
Got his hands on it, could not hold on through the end of the play.
Let's go now. 10 logo. 54. 80 weapons. And ready.
He can run for it, and he will. And a short pickup there down to about the 9. The keeper nets him only a yard, and that's going to bring up 4th.
Anytime you decide to use your quarterback as a runner, most of the time when you design a play, you're expected to break a little bit bigger than this one because when you run him on short gains, your risk-reward and him taking hits, I'm not sure that's the payoff they were looking for.
So he missed that field goal earlier, but he says not this time. Able to knock it through, give his guys 3.
I like his poise. I like his confidence, his belief in himself. Sometimes when you miss that first one, you'll see a lot of guys sag and they can't make the next one. Not in this case. Stepped right up like a pro.
The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway. And there are parts of their last drive they'd like to emulate. And, of course, they'd like to forget the inning, the interception. But they did put together, Charles, a nice sustained drive to get him down the field.
Yeah, and unfortunately for them, the only thing that matters is part 2, right? Because once they threw the interception and finished off the drive, that does them no good to go back and say, well, you know, we had a good one going. Finish things off. That's the only way you can get it done.
They'll look to throw. That'll be complete to Cook. And he's upended after a gain of 2 out to the 27.
I know most of the time when the ball's in the air, you're thinking wide receiver, tight end, but running backs, they can be a big part of any passing offense nowadays.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. Here's a play fake as they set up to throw. Open man is Thielen. It's complete. 17 yards, first down, Vikings. He's such a good route runner. Shows it there on 3rd down. Very proficient and a good pass.
And you know what I've observed over the years in the NFL? The better a route runner you are, the more confidence your guy's going to have in you to go to you in important times because he can trust you being in the right spot, and they connected there and picked up a first down.
Now, meanwhile, a final play here is incomplete, and that's going to take us to the end of the third quarter of play. And we return, welcoming you back to Minneapolis. A lot of folks starting to make their way to the parking lot. Their guys trail big here to begin quarter number 4. So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on first down. And the play goes nowhere, losing yardage back near the 40 at the 39. That's going to go down as a loss of 5, and it brings up third down. The Vikings on third down, 2 for 5 to this point. This will be 3rd and 15. Now back to throw. And now here is another interception. Picked up by Steven Nelson, and his guys will take over at their own 44-yard line. What a nightmarish game he's having now. 6 interceptions that he has thrown.
Absolutely unbelievable, isn't it? Hard to believe we're watching this and have seen it, but it just tells you about the game of football. It giveth and it taketh away.
Yeah, the guys, though, that have thrown 6 interceptions in a game, the likes of Peyton Manning, Brett Favre, I think Joe Namath, he did it 3 times. A running play here on first down is going to go nowhere as he is tackled behind the line of scrimmage. Call it a full 3 yards in the wrong direction there. Brings up second down. A 3-yard loss to start the drive. They'll look to make that up and then some on 2nd and 13. Powers through. Call it an 8-yard pickup, and it'll be third down.
Bottom line, they want to keep this clock rolling, so they'll take that one right there. They just want to keep falling forward, and they won't put the onus on the big fellas up front in order to bring this one home.
On third down, Herbert nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
Let's go, first and 10 at their own 12-yard line.
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And they've sort of lost their way, partner. How do they recalibrate and get this proverbial train back on track?
Well, this is where leadership really comes into play. How's the head coach handling it? The offensive coordinator? Sometimes they just make a joke. All right, guys, you had your fun? All right.
Throw it out the window.
Yeah, let's get back on track here. And sometimes that'll work just fine.
I guess it's time now to lean on that leadership.
Let's put them on the buses. Let's put that up.
On play action, they'll throw. And this is going to wind up incomplete. The coverage there too strong on the deep ball, and now they face a third down. Another wayward pass. You know, things started out poorly in this game, and to be frank, they just really haven't gotten much better.
And all that does is embolden the secondary. They feel good about what's going on, and they just play better and better.
He's got it complete to Diggs, right side. 17 yards, first down, Vikings. So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. They run the counter. It's Cook. Cook with a first down and much more. And all the way down to the 25-yard line. 39 yards there, a big one. They've done a pretty good job containing him up until this drive, and until that run, there was no containing him at all.
Yeah, you're right about that. He finally popped free. But we didn't have to be in their practice sessions. We didn't have to be in their meeting rooms. They planned for a run like that to happen, maybe a couple of them. But what did they tell their guys all week? You know what they said. Move on to the next play. That one just happened. Let it go.
Now a nice play defensively on first down as this is knocked away and incomplete.
Oh, that's got to frustrate him a little bit because they nearly got to him there, and it would have been the first sack of the game. Instead, they're able to influence the release, and they did force the incomplete pass.
An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25. Back to throw. Rush coming, and he's taken down.
I think normally we would talk about this more with basketball players and football players, but let's adopt it in this case. He's a stat sheet stuffer.
Had the interception earlier, now a sack. What, he just needs a touchdown for the trifecta.
That's about all he needs, and he's going to go for it.
The Vikings on third down. 3 for 7 so far in this game. This is 3rd and 16.
Let's go, Mike 50. Mike 50. Danny. Check it out, read. Dan. Faster. Ready, go.
He'll look to throw. He lets this one fly toward the back of the end zone. Back of the end zone. Could he get his feet down? No, it's incomplete. I know he wants to get his team back in the game, but a 50-50 ball right there that maybe was a little questionable.
Yeah, he's pretty lucky to get that one back. I think that sometimes these quarterbacks play with a lot of confidence that borders on arrogance, and that can put your team in some Dutch.
Yeah, especially maybe want to look at some safer routes after the interception he had that ended their last drive. I don't think this will even, nope, it doesn't even get there. Well short, and this score will stay right where it is. So it's an empty possession, and as a kicker, not the way you want to start your day's work.
And now each team's missed a field goal here so far, Brandon, so apparently neither guy is immune.
Good starting field position for them here as they come up 1st and 10 at their 38. A first down run, good for about 3. 2nd and 7 coming up. A gain of 3, 2nd down. And when do they start thinking about burning these timeouts? They've got all 3 still defensively.
To me, you have to start right now. Here's the time, and that means you've got to stop them on defense, not give up the yardage, use your timeouts in order to get the ball back and try and score yourself. But now is the time to start using those timeouts.
And keep in mind, it'll also stop the clock at the 2-minute warning. A big play that time for Pittsburgh. 57 yards.
He's still rumbling, isn't he? Still looking fresh in this one despite the heavy workload. But you and I both know, well-conditioned, and he did tell us that he thrives on being at his peak late in ball games.
Now what can they do here on 2nd and goal? 3 red zone trips so far have yielded 2 touchdowns and a field goal.
Switch it, go.
Now a fake on the give here as they try the run-pass option. And he's in. Touchdown, Steelers. A 2-yard touchdown grab. And the Steelers, they broaden their lead. Turning into a really good performance on the road. Week 1, you're just hoping for that first win. It's tough to do it away from home, though, but they're looking strong.
It certainly is. Any road win in the NFL is a great road win. I mean, it just does not matter whether it's supposed to be tough or not. In this particular situation, how great will they feel leaving with a win on the road against a tough opponent?
A little work still to do, though.
At their own 25-yard line.
The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway. Now, they had compiled a pretty long drive last time. Unfortunately, though, it ended with no points after the missed field goal.
And that can hurt the psyche of a team because as they drove downfield, you know you're never supposed to count points in your mind until they go up on the board. But let's face it, we've been there. We've seen teams before. They were counting on those points. They didn't get them. Can they come back now, start over again, and grind it out?
And now a throw here secured by his running back out of the backfield. 12 yards there. First down, Vikings. Offense for them has been at a premium. You wonder where plays like that have been all game long.
They're thinking the exact same thing themselves, but they're also looking forward now because now these plays are really for next week, trying to get some momentum going.
He's going to float this one deep right side. And he knocks the ball away, and it falls incomplete. Definitely desperation time. This just looks like, hey, throw it down there, hope that your guy can make a play.
You want him to make a play, but if not, maybe you get a pass interference call, and you know in the NFL, that's a spot foul. You get all that yardage. That would be a big play.
And my goodness, another interception. Picked up by the former first-rounder Artie Burns. And he's in for 6 and a Steeler touchdown. That's the story of the game. They've been suffocating all game long on defense. They were suffocating there again in a big way.
And they've done it not just by out-athleting them, which is often the case, but by being able to adjust to anything they tried to throw at them and beating them to the punch each and every time. This was a defense that was well prepared.
This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And they gave up the pick 6, and now they'll be looking to right the ship here. Now, as a quarterback, are you a little more cautious this go-around?
You should be, just because after what you gave up, but you can't be so cautious as to just really take things in, and now you're not going to play loose enough to give your team a chance to score. But you still have to be careful, because those defensive guys, I know the reputation defense guys can't catch. All evidence to the contrary on that last possession, though.
So the big play changes the complexion of things. Here's 1st and 10 just outside the 30. And he gets stopped up at the 31 after a gain of maybe a yard. They follow up that gigantic gain with the tiniest of pickups, 1 yard. So the Vikings in possession of the football as we get you reset. They're looking at 2nd down now as they search for a consolation score. And they're going to go with a jet sweep. This is Diggs with it. And that one covered beautifully. Their defenders stayed home, and they'll stop him behind the line. They'll wind up losing 3 yards here. And that's going to lead to a 3rd and 11.
Ready. 60 Pittsburgh.
Another tote for the workhorse this afternoon. It's Cook. And he will lose yardage back to the 34-yard line. The loss of a yard, and it brings up 4th. The run defense, they have been porous at times today, but not that last go-around.
No, they really tightened it up, didn't they? They finally got themselves a win because all game long we've seen them get gashed. This time they played the responsibilities, played their keys, and made a nice stop.
Now they go for it on 4th, but this one is going to wind up incomplete. The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. And this game comfortably in hand. The scoreboard speaks for itself, but you still got your starting quarterback out there. When do you go to the backup, let him get some time?
And that's one of the great questions in the NFL, Brandon, because I'm just going to tell you, in the 2015 season, I commentated on 3 games in a row that were blowouts. And in none of them did the starting quarterback ever come out of the game for the team that had a big lead. And in each instance, I asked the coaches later on, why didn't you do that? And they all looked at me and said, just don't really do that in the NFL. You know, these guys play, and we just play them all the way through. Now, in certain situations, they will take them out, but for the most part, they're not as worried and concerned about getting them out of the game, and that's always puzzled me a little bit.
An extra defender in the secondary for the Vikings here on 3rd down.
Check.
So this one in the win column for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And, partner, I must say, good to see you again. Been too long. And it's good to have football back, isn't it?
Didn't you see me in preseason? Weren't we together in preseason?
Yeah, but preseason, you know, it's preseason. This is week 1.
Oh, you're trying to say real football.
Yeah, real football.
Not preseason football where we shake down the rosters and figure out who's going to play, and maybe the starters don't play as much. Now it's the frontline guys from the first whistle.
Yeah, I tuned you out in the preseason. And now I'm listening to you. So for Pittsburgh, it's a fantastic start as they roll to a blowout victory here in the season opener. And they'll get another road.